What's going on, guys? This is the Talking Sports podcast with Adam and Alec. This is episode 28. Tonight, we're going to be continuing our series of episodes talking about March Madness. Last week, we created a bracket, our own bracket, which aren't doing very well and shows we don't know a whole lot about college basketball. But tonight, we're going to be talking about the first and second rounds that happened this past weekend, and then we'll give a preview of the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight that are coming up later this week and weekend. So Alec, you want to get us started off?
Yeah, start off saying both of our brackets are busted. I think both of our championship games are already out of the tournament. And then looking at my Final Four, I only have one team left, and that's Duke. So
Yeah.
I guess I got Auburn too, but not a great start. No, never mind, Auburn's up. Yeah, so Duke.
Yeah, Auburn lost.
I couldn't see the mark through them. That's weird. So yeah, not a productive bracket for either one of us. A couple of the games, there are a lot of good games, but some of the more notable ones, starting the first round, you had Notre Dame end up beating Alabama, the 11-6 matchup. Michigan State also went and beat Davidson, one of those teams, one of the games that we thought could be an upset. North Carolina pummeled Marquette in the 8-9 matchup, 95-63. And yeah, we'll talk about that. Their next game here in a little bit. St. Mary's ended up beating Indiana, a team I thought would be upset alert, but they took care of business, 82-53. I think we both picked Virginia Tech to beat Texas.
I think we did, yeah. And that ended up, they ended up falling apart.
Texas ended up winning that one. Then, we got our biggest Cinderella story of the year, the 15 seed St. Peter's.
Go Peacocks.
Yeah, ended up beating the 2 seed Kentucky, which that was your pick, right? Kentucky.
Yeah. I picked Tennessee, but Tennessee was my championship.
Yeah, so Kentucky goes down round one, big time upset. Michigan, they caught fire here in the tournament. They beat Colorado State. And then
I think for Michigan, this is their fifth Sweet 16 out of the last 6 years or something like that.
Really?
Anyways, they've been in the Sweet 16 a bunch recently. I saw that the other day.
Then Richmond playing the upset alert against Iowa as a 5-12 upset. Providence looks really good considering they played South Dakota State and Richmond. They haven't really played a true power team. Iowa State looks like they're back to non-conference form. Maybe it's just Big 12. You can't win in the Big 12, but you can win outside of Big 12.
That's true. And we didn't think they were going to do anything.
We thought they beat LSU, but then they didn't lose Wisconsin. But they took care of business. It was a very ugly game to watch, but they took care of business.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's really all that happened round one. Obviously, the main story was St. Peter's. And all the 1 seeds got through round one pretty much unscathed. Gonzaga had a little bit of issue early in their matchup with Georgia State, but they ended up pulling away in the second half. Then we move over to round two. Or actually, Adam, did you have any notable things to say about round one?
Well, I know between rounds 1 and 2, we've had like 6 overtime games already. I was trying to look and see how many of those were in the first round, but there was a bunch of overtime games. So this is March Madness. We knew it was going to be crazy, but it's definitely living up to its hype with all the overtime thrilling games, the upsets, the 15 seed St. Peter's, Cinderella team, so that's always fun to watch and see the madness of March Madness. But yeah, let's move on to the second round.
All right, so second round, Gonzaga took care of business against Memphis. Very close game. Thought Gonzaga would be the second 1 seed to go down Saturday.
Losing by 10 at half to Memphis.
Gonzaga looks very beatable, and I think they're going to get exposed this next game, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Arkansas takes care of business against New Mexico State, winning by 5. So that sets up them and Gonzaga in the Sweet 16.
They've had 2 close games Their first round game was close. They're just barely squeaking out wins right now, but sometimes that's what you have to do,
Yeah, that's what you got to do in March Madness.
Yep.
Then Texas Tech, Notre Dame. Notre Dame was a very good game.
Great game.
That I was talking to a buddy at work. That's the kind of game that Texas Tech wants to be in. They want to be in a
Definitely
hard-fought game because they're not going to outscore you 80 to 81. It's going to be keep them in the 50s.
Yep, for sure.
So very impressive win for Tech. Big 12 looking good right now in the tournament. Then you had I thought this is one of the better games of the day. Michigan State at Duke.
Yes.
Just two blue bloods going at it. Tom Izzo and Coach K trading haymakers.
The last matchup between them.
Yeah, Coach K, the dream's still alive right now, winning the national championship on his last year. But he's got a tough matchup coming up against Texas Tech in the Sweet 16. I don't know if Tech has the firepower. Defensively, they'll be okay, but I don't know if they have the firepower to keep up with this Duke offense because they put up 85 against Michigan State.
That's the Sweet 16 game I'm looking forward to the most. That game, Tech and Duke, that's going to be the best game in my opinion.
I think so, yeah. There's another game I think I saw in here that's going to be intriguing, but that one definitely, I'm going to be watching that one.
Oh, yeah.
The Thursday game, 3:24. Then we get to the heartbreaking Baylor loses in overtime to North Carolina. I'll talk about that after we finish the round of 32 up real quick. North Carolina, they just couldn't miss all game. And at that point, you kind of just have to throw your hands up like, yeah, there's nothing else we can do.
RJ Davis and Brady Minnick were carrying North Carolina.
Dudes went off. RJ Davis could not miss to save his life.
Yeah.
UCLA handled St. Mary's very easily, 72-56. This is a team, I think you said it in the previews, this is a team that had a lot of hype early on because they returned literally everybody from their run last year.
Yeah.
They just didn't do anything in regular season. They're
right.
Figuring it out. They can make a deep run now.
They know they got experience. Yeah. Like you said, the same team. They know how to win. They were in this position last year. So I think this is a dangerous team to look out for here in the next couple of rounds, definitely.
Definitely. And that sets up them in North Carolina. Talk about another blue blood matchup there. Then moving down, you have Purdue beating Texas by 10. Yeah, horns down. Purdue's done better than I thought they would. You know, I figured they'd be like every other Big Ten team and bounce in the first couple rounds, but here they are in the second weekend, Sweet 16.
They're definitely on upset alert, though.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, St. Peter's, their second round, they ended up beating Murray State 70-60.
That was another great game, back and forth, close one.
Yeah, that sets up a 3-15 matchup in the Sweet 16. Purdue and St. Peter's, the Boilermakers and the Peacocks. That's a mascot matchup right there.
I don't know if a 15 seed has ever made it to the Elite Eight. So I'm pretty sure every single person besides Purdue fans are rooting for St. Peter's.
For sure. That is a Friday game, 3:25. So pretty good matchup there. Then in the South bracket, Arizona handles TCU. Controversial ending to regulation this game. I think he should have been on the line shooting free throws. And on the other end, he goes for the dunk instead of a quick layup.
Yeah, it was definitely a foul. And then, I mean, I know it's a crazy moment at the end of the game, but you can't dunk it right there. You got to lay it in.
And, you know, I probably would have done the same thing because you're trying to go so fast. You don't think, oh, layup real quick. It's just point A to point B. But, yeah, crazy ending. Arizona looks good, but TCU looked really good too. Just proving that the Big 12 is probably the best conference in the nation.
Agreed.
You have all these SEC teams going down. Granted, Baylor went down, but they also came back from 25.
Yeah.
A very good UNC team. That should not have been an 8 seed. Then another team who's found their rhythm is Houston. They dismantle Illinois 68-53, sets up Arizona and Houston in the Sweet 16. Very good matchup.
Another great matchup there. I like this Houston team.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a really good, scrappy team, and I think they could take down Arizona, honestly. I think it'll be a good matchup.
They've definitely found their stride in March. So Moving down the bracket, Michigan ends up beating Tennessee. Wolverines, and they got the rhythm. Juwan Howard comes back, establishes it. They see both. We thought they were going to go far. Ends up getting bounced in the round of 32. So that sets up.
Taking out Tennessee I did not expect that at all. Even though Michigan came in hot, this was a Michigan team that no one thought would even get in the tournament. And here they are, sitting in the Sweet 16. So
they were one of the last 4 in, weren't they?
Yes, that sounds right. Yeah.
That sets up a interesting matchup. Villanova, Ohio State. Villanova ended up winning by 10. Villanova is always a team that figures it out in March.
Yeah.
They kind of float all year and then they turn it on at the end of the season when they need to. So very dangerous team in March. See how they do this weekend.
I think that's a really good matchup as well. Michigan's coming off 2 really big wins, and Villanova's been taking care of business like we all thought they would, to get to this point. But it'll be interesting to see if Michigan still has that firepower. We'll get more to the Sweet 16 games here in a minute, but yeah.
And then in the Midwest bracket, Kansas ends up beating Creighton. Kansas had a little bit of run for their money there. Only ends up winning by 7 against a pretty good Creighton team.
That game was back and forth the whole game.
Yeah.
And Creighton could have done it, but just couldn't finish at the end.
Then that sets up a matchup with Providence, who ends up taking care of Richmond pretty easily by 18 points, 79-51. Providence looking pretty solid. It's going to be an interesting matchup, Kansas and Providence. Not really 2 teams you think about having a good game, but it should be a pretty good game. It
should be, yeah. Well, this will really test how good this Providence team is, I feel like. And if Kansas is legit, so it goes both ways on that.
Right. And I'll talk about that here in a minute. But next up, you had Iowa State beating Wisconsin. Iowa State team looked good in non-con, struggled. I think they finished last among the teams that made the tournament in the Big 12.
Yeah.
They end up beating Wisconsin in a very, very ugly game, but a win's a win in March.
That's right.
That's up a matchup with the Miami University. They beat Auburn 79-61. That wasn't even a game.
No, it wasn't.
Auburn laid an egg in a matchup that they should have handled easily.
Yeah. I mean, that was a big surpriser for me that Auburn came out that flat. And Miami's hot. They're a good team as well. I got to give credit to them. They played a really good game against Auburn, and yeah, Auburn did not come to play.
No. So one of the narratives coming into the tournament was SEC or Big 12, who has the better conference. I'd still lean towards Big 12. I mean,
I'm heavily leaning towards Big 12 still.
SEC has Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Big 12 has Iowa State, Kansas,
Tech
in the Sweet 16. Big 12, obviously the dominant power in college basketball. Another team that, I guess my team, Baylor, started out good the first couple minutes against UCLA or North Carolina, and then RJ Davis goes off for 30. He just couldn't miss from downtown. It's like they got the streak going. Like, it's gonna be one of those games. Like, keep it within 10, and they got it up to 25. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I don't want to turn the game off because you never know because it's March. But in the back of my mind, it's like, it's not going to happen. There's no chance they come back from 25. And they start chipping away. I mean, Matthew Meyer and Akinjo both played the last 15 minutes with 4 fouls.
Yeah, that was impressive in itself.
Yeah, Flo Thamba didn't play much at all in the second half because he had 4 fouls, and he's liable to foul out quicker than the other 2. But, I mean, yeah, insane comeback by the Bears. And it's one of those, like, you don't want to get your hopes up just to be let down. But at the beginning of overtime, I was up. I was,
Yeah.
we got it. But wasn't meant to be. Scott Drew said it all year. It's hard to, no one's ever gone back to back.
Mhm.
It's almost impossible to go back to back. And the fact that he took a very injury riddled team to be a 1 seed and share the Big 12 title and almost make it to the Sweet 16 after a 25-point comeback. I like where we're sitting coming in next year. Obviously, we're going to lose a couple of guys. I think 2 of our freshmen are going to go to the draft, which I don't want to see, but they like the money. I would go too if I was them. So
Yeah. I thought that game was insane. Just shows how crazy March Madness is. It all started. I mean, you talked about RJ Davis, and I love Brady Manick as he was a former OU guy. So I was rooting for North Carolina because of Brady Manick, and man, he was going off. And then all the momentum switched when he got ejected, the flagrant 2 or whatever, when he accidentally elbowed the guy in the face. He got ejected for that. And that's when, right then, North Carolina was up by 25. And then 5 minutes later, it's a ball game again, So credit to Baylor, to y'all for how y'all came back and fought. And it was an incredible game to watch, definitely.
yeah, so that leaves us with 3 1 seeds being Gonzaga, Arizona, and Kansas.
Yeah.
If you had to pick who's the next 1 seed that's going to go down, I'm
Oh,
leaning toward Gonzaga just because how they've looked in the tournament. I think they're the most beatable, but they're also getting bailed out on a lot of fouls on Timmy,
yeah.
which some of those aren't really fouls, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking more Arizona. I think Houston's going to take out Arizona. And I could see Kansas losing as well.
All 3 1 seeds could go down this weekend.
They really could.
I was talking to a guy where there's really no dominant team right now they're going to win it all.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, UNC looks like they could win it all. UCLA looks like they could win it all. Duke looks like it. But there's no team like this team is going to make it, and they should win it. There's a lot of contenders, but
No, that's true.
like truly better than the rest.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess you want to go through and pick these games real quick, the Sweet 16, since we don't have many teams actually right.
Right. Redo our picks.
Up first is Gonzaga and Arkansas. I said it before, I'm going to go Arkansas.
I think this is going to be a really good game. I think Arkansas is a really good team. They've had their struggles the last couple games with teams I feel like that they should have been able to handle. But this is March Madness. You never know what's going to happen. But I think Gonzaga will win. I think in a close game, definitely, but Gonzaga pulls it out.
Then it sets up Tech and Duke. Tech being Texas Tech. I want to go Tech because of Big 12, but Duke is so offensively overpowering against Tech right now. I just don't see them being able to keep up. I think I'm going to go Duke on this one.
This is a tough choice because I really want Tech to win. I think it'd be awesome. Sorry, Duke fans, but I think it'd be awesome for Coach K to go out in the Sweet 16 and being upset by Tech. And this Tech team is really solid defensively, like you said. Offensively, not so much. Whereas Duke, that's their strong suit. So I think this is going to be a really close game. I could see this going to overtime or something crazy, but I'm going to pick Tech.
Wow. Next, that sets up North Carolina, UCLA. Blue Bloods here. UNC looks so good. And since Manick had the flagrant, does he have to sit the first half or is he able to play?
I was actually wondering those rules myself. I hope he doesn't, because it wasn't anything intentional. We know that. But just by the basis of the rules, you had to eject him for what happened, which I don't really agree with, but it is what it is, But
since it happened in the second half, he has to sit out the first half. Because I know in football, if you get targeting ejected the second half, you got to miss the first half.
Yeah. So he very well might not be able to play.
which that changes this game. I
That
think if
could.
Manic plays all game, I'm going North Carolina, but if he has to sit, I'm going to go UCLA.
Honestly, I'm rooting for this North Carolina team the rest of the way because of Brady Manic. So I'm going to pick North Carolina. Hopefully, Manic plays the whole game.
Yeah. Then we got Purdue against St. Peter's. I'm going St. Peter's.
The
There's
Peacocks. Let's
not a single
go.
ounce of me wants Purdue to win.
Nope.
St. Peter's
Nope.
all the way, dude.
I agree. I'm taking St. Peter's. They're riding high right now. They're playing really good ball, and I think they continue it again.
It would be something, dude.
If they could win it all.
Yes, it would be something.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure I looked it up the other day, but I'm pretty sure they would be the first 15 seed in the Elite Eight.
They're close. One win against a very beatable Purdue team.
Agreed. Yeah, for sure.
And that sets up Arizona, Houston. Arizona looks good. Houston looks good. I'm going to go Arizona this round. I think. I don't know. It's just a weird game to me.
Yeah, this is a tough one to pick, but I think it's going to be a really good matchup. You're going Arizona. I'll go Houston. I think Houston can really compete and could win this game.
I feel like we're picking the opposite of each other every pick except
Yeah.
Michigan, Villanova. I'm going Villanova.
Yeah, I really don't see this Michigan team getting to the Elite Eight. Now they've had a great run so far, but I think Villanova is definitely the better team. I'm going to go Villanova there.
And then Kansas, Providence. This is a Providence team that I haven't been high on at all going into the tournament. I'm still not high on them because they haven't played a true team. They beat South Dakota State
and Richmond.
So
13 seed and 12 seed.
Yeah.
So
they're going to get challenged against Kansas. And Kansas, they're going to be challenged against Providence. I'm going to go Kansas because of Big 12 and because I've seen them play all year. I don't really, but this is also a Bill Self game to mess up.
Yes, they always do this.
Always a team, a non-Power 5 team always comes in and ends up beating them. I think
I really want to pick Providence here, but I really agree with what you said about Kansas playing the Big 12 the whole season. They're prepared for games like this. They're prepared to make a deep run in March, like Baylor last season, playing Gonzaga, who Cupcake Conference doesn't play anybody all year.
Yeah.
When you get to the big game and you play the big boys who have been preparing for this all year, it was big time.
Yeah.
And it showed on the floor as y'all dominated that game. So for that reason, I think Kansas will win. I think they're more prepared for this moment and they are the better team. But I do want Providence to win, but my gut's telling me that Kansas will win.
And then that sets up Iowa State, Miami. I'm going to Iowa State.
I got to roll with Big 12 at this point. Keep Iowa State going. They've had a great run so far, and I think they can continue it.
So going back to what you just said about playing in the Big 12 sets you up perfectly for the tournament run. Are there any other teams left that you feel might be able to, or I guess right now, if you had to pick one team, who's winning it all?
Oh, man.
Looking at these teams.
Man, that's really hard. I mean, I could very well see Duke winning it all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that to happen, but I could see Duke winning it. I can see Gonzaga winning it. I don't think Arizona or Houston will win. I don't think Michigan or Villanova will win. I really don't think Kansas will win. I could see Kansas getting there, but I don't think they'll win. So yeah, I guess I would go either. Well, I guess Gonzaga and Duke would play in the next round, right?
Yes.
Man. So I would say if it's Gonzaga, Duke in the Elite Eight, I think the winner of that would win it all. That would be my guess.
So I've narrowed it down to two looking at it. I'm going to go either Duke or Kansas. Gonzaga, like we just mentioned, hasn't played anybody, and when they do, they lose. They lost to Duke earlier in the year.
That's
They
true.
lost to St. Mary's in conference. Given St. Mary's was a good team.
Yeah.
They lost to someone else. I think they had 3 or 4 losses coming into the tournament. So when you play them, you end up losing.
Yeah.
They don't have – they have the talent, Chet Holmgren, Drew Timme. Can't think of the other guy, the point guard, who shoots like 90% from free throw line. But when you get in the big game, you just kind of lay an egg. Proved it last year. They proved it every year, really.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, every year they're preseason number 1. Every year they come in the tournament with the 1 seed, and every year they just get bounced out with no ring.
This is their 7th straight Sweet 16, I want to say, and they've only been in the title game once, right, last year?
Yeah.
And lost it.
Handedly.
So, yeah.
Handedly lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, Duke and Kansas, this is set up to be Duke-Kansas matchup unless North Carolina stays hot, which I could see. But even then, that'll have to be Duke and North Carolina in the Final Four.
Right.
Which would be something.
That would be crazy.
At that point, North Carolina might be able to beat Duke again. I mean, they beat them on their home court, but Duke did beat North Carolina on their home court.
Yeah, exactly.
So this would be the 3rd matchup. That'd be a huge Final Four matchup.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm going for that Final Four matchup right now.
Oh, my goodness. That would be
the championship game in Coach K's final year.
That would be really cool. And that crazy historic rivalry.
That would be something. I think on the other side, Kansas has an easier path.
I agree with that.
And then they have either Iowa State or Miami. They've beat Iowa State twice.
Yeah, you've already played Iowa State 2 times. Now, I would say it's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season.
Very hard, very hard.
But that could be a good matchup in the Elite 8.
Yeah.
I think Kansas definitely has the easiest path to the Final Four. I would definitely agree with that.
It's going to be another good weekend of ball.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'll say Duke, Kansas championship game.
Man,
anybody but
Gonzaga. I don't know. I could see either Gonzaga or Duke, and then probably Kansas. One of those 2 plus against Kansas would probably be my championship.
There's not another team from that bottom bracket that really gets me going as far as this could be a team to win the championship. I mean, you got Arizona and Houston, but they don't really match up well against Kansas because Kansas has so many guys that can go off for 20.
Right, yeah. Now, I hope St. Peter's gets there, but
St. Peter's needs to beat Coach K in the final game.
If they can just get to the Elite 8, if they got to the Final Four, that would be crazy.
The amount of enrollment spike that college would have, that would be insane.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think that about does it for this one. This is another week where we have 2 episodes coming. We have another one planned out Thursday covering NL Central. And then next week will be our 3rd straight week of 2 episodes.
Yes.
And then one more week of 2 straight episodes and then straight baseball.
Yep, that's right.
We have a lot
and then basketball playoffs eventually.
What?
Basketball playoffs eventually.
NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, baseball's almost here.
Very exciting times.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, a lot to talk about Thursday as far as free agency moves, which I don't know. I told you before we came on, like I'm excited. It's finally hit that baseball season.
Yes.
Spring going on. DeGrom struck out the side of his first inning back since July. It's just,
it's an exciting time.
Yeah. You're not gonna stick your head out there. Yeah, you're in there. So yeah, very exciting times. So yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Up to how many subscribers? I think we said 34.
34, yeah.
34 followers.
Hit us up if you want to come on the show. We'd love to have you on as a guest. Bring us some sports knowledge, and we'd love to talk ball with you.
Yeah, especially if you're a college basketball fan. Especially if you're a college basketball fan, you probably
Yeah.
brackets probably better than ours. The bad thing, I'm
Yeah.
confident about our brackets too.
Right.
So yeah, hit us up on Twitter. That's about it.
See you Thursday.